rewind to 1987, you're relatively successful at PA Technology yourself. You're the product engineering manager. Now, at some point during that year, 23 people decide to leave and set up the technology partnership.
Yep.
What happened?
My boss at the time was running the whole of the engineering functions. He phoned me up I was there for a week of travelling around Scandinavia. He phoned me up on a Tuesday night and said, "Oh, Chaz, I just wanted to tell you before you heard of anyone else that I'm leaving to join another company where there's possibility of equity share in the company to build it, and describe a little bit about it."
And what went through your head?
Well, he went on to say that I might also receive a job offer from this company. I did get back late Thursday night, but there was an envelope with the job offer and setting out what this new company was about. And I thought, right, well, it looks like you got opportunity. And people have said to me many times, it must have been a really difficult decision to take, Chaz, you know, to jump out of a successful company and go set up with colleagues. But I wrote up my resignation and went in to work on a Friday morning and saw the Gerald Avison, who's chairman of TTP, was the head of the Cambridge laboratory. And he said, just asked me how things had gone in Scandinavia, and I said, who's going? And he reeled off a list of names which I knew was a winning team. So I said, well, there's my resignation, I'm with you.
But it wasn't quite as easy as just handing your resignation and then you went off to be hugely successful. There was a significant funding issue.
We did subsequently have to go to the bank and raise the money, and although Black Monday had happened, banks were still lending money away, and most of us borrowed probably £20,000-30,000, which I don't know whether you...
How much today?
Well, maybe you multiply it by 10. I don't know what the inflation rate.
Yeah,
borrowed that.
Significant amount of money.
Significant. It was as much for most of us. It was as much as our mortgage on our houses was that you were borrowing to invest in the company.
How much do you think that investment that you made is worth today?
Well, you could go with the various valuations. You could go back to the float. Well, if you went back to the float price of TTP Communications, which was a crazy price, you know, that's end of the dot-com boom, but they still got dot-com type valuations for it. You were looking at people who were pretty close to over 10 million valuation across a significant number of people. TTP made an awful lot of people wealthy. And at that time, somebody did a calculation that someone who just worked in the company, never invested in the company, but had been an employee from the beginning, had just taken the free shares which we gave to make all employees shareholders and had kept them, and probably could have sold them if they sold at the top of the market for about £100,000 plus.
Would it be impertinent to ask how much your share was worth?
Significant. Which is why I retired at 60.
Did you ever think you've invested the contents of your mortgage or another mortgage, basically, £20,000? Did you ever think it's not going to work?
I didn't, but one of my colleagues very closely says to me, well, that's the last you'll ever see of that money. But fortunately, it was...
Why didn't you think it would? Why did you think it would work?
Really the team. The fact was, if you looked at the business that had been built at PA Technology and the things that had been delivered as products, as advanced systems to very, very major corporations around the world, you knew there was arguably nothing that you couldn't take on as a team and deliver. And all the experience, all the learning which had gone on from when we didn't get things quite right, you know, those lessons were learned, and we were not going to walk into any major disasters which would have brought the company down.
Which is amazing, because I think it's people call it a Cambridge sense of confidence, perhaps some people may call it arrogance, but it's the fact that all the consultancies believe that whatever is thrown at them, they will find a solution.
But that's That begins with the people at the front end of the business development. If you think about going and talking to major corporation, people who might lose their job if it goes wrong, and you're looking for a £1 million project from them, you'd better be able to look them in the eye and have the confidence. They can see the confidence in you that you know you've got a team that can deliver that.
Let's talk about technology. TTP is all about technology. What made it different to when you were setting up to the other consultancies that were already in Cambridge?
One of the key things that was recognised was that just pretending to be smart and say we've got a good bunch of people and we can develop something revolutionary for you really wasn't going to be the future of the business. You really had to be investing in technology in order to have something more than just bright people. You're going to have not just bright people that you could put into a team to deliver something. You really needed significant in-depth experience, and if you want to capitalise on that, intellectual property.
That's the fundamental key for me.
Yeah.
IP, because consultancies tended, from my research, tended to consult. They consulted on projects, but TTP has, not uniquely, but perhaps has developed a lot of different kinds of IP and product development as well, and taken a stake in various businesses.
Which is unusual because none of the Cambridge companies, none of the other technology consultancy companies have done that. CCL has had some very significant companies coming out of it, but very few of those returns have ever gone to their original shareholders or employees. They go elsewhere. CSR is huge, but not much, because it wasn't funded all the way through. They brought in additional money. TTP is pursuing the same role with its biggest investment at the moment, which is ToneJet. And ToneJet began as a joint venture with an Australian company that developed the inks. Not sure of the latest figures, but it's probably over 90% owned by TTP now. So if ToneJet goes the same route of a flotation or a trade sale out of the group, the return on that investment, which has been made over many, many years, will come back to the original investors.
Let's go on a little bit to Zirconics.
Yeah.
So you've left TTP, left last year,
Yeah.
2009. You're not bored, and you're certainly keeping busy. But among other things, one of your main interests is Zirconics, isn't it?
Well, Zirconics was started in 2007, I think it goes back to, by my two sons. They saw a niche in connecting mobile and the internet to the vast majority of small businesses that will never be electronically connected for a long time. So restaurants, for example, they run their business with a book, a pencil, and an eraser on the end of the pencil. So they chop and change in order to fit their favourite customers in their tables and everything. And all they ever want to do is to answer the phone. Now, people, on the other hand, want to do everything online. So you might remember at 11 o'clock at night, oh, I forgot to book the table at such and such a restaurant. So you want to go online and do it. And it's really connecting those together.
God, that's great, isn't it? The Sims dream team.
Hopefully.
And what's your role? Are you sort of pointing them in the right direction?
Chairman, and obviously funding from myself and my wife.
So what were the main pieces of advice you gave to your sons?
The fundamental questions I asked them are the two that Gerald Avison would ask of a technology venture. Are we making progress? That means technical progress, or have you hit a roadblock that you just can't get over? And can we afford to continue?